everyone, it's Victoria. Car vlog, so random. I just dropped off my kid to school, and it's early in the morning, and I don't look the best right now, but whatever. So today I'd like to talk about random stuff. It's a car vlog, but I thought about patience and relationships. Now, if you are not in a relationship or don't want a relationship, this video is probably not for you. But because I've been in a long-term marriage, I have some stuff to share. Maybe that could help you in your life or somebody that you know. So, I guess these thoughts are just in my head and I can get them out with you guys. And that is that I recently talked to somebody that broke up with her fiance, and I heard the things she was saying, and I understood her frustrations with the person that she's with. And I didn't hear his side, but I'm sure there was frustrations on both ends. And, sometimes they need help, to mend those two things together. Maybe those two people together, maybe they need help. And so I offered my help and my whatever I could do for them. I said, I will help, I will try. I'll call both of them. So far, one party did not call me back. But I spoke to one of the people in the couple, and she was the woman, and I said, sometimes fights come up and they seem like they're the worst thing in the world, and then you can't handle it. But what about the whole push through thing? Like, the people that make things in life, that make it, and I'm not saying that if the person's abusive, like completely abusive, and you just really can't handle it, they're just toxic people that are not going to change that, then okay. But if there are good times and bad times, you almost should stick around, because if you want a relationship, there's always going to be those two things. There's always going to be those two things. Some are harsher than others. Some people fight really hard, you know what I mean? Like, they say nasty things, they say mean things, but then eventually there's a good side to them. So why should you stay? Okay. So if you have children, really, really a good thing to stay. The children do want to see unified parents. Even if you're not together anymore, stay unified with that partner, or that person that you had children with, that you shared children with. Secondly, is because you're in a relationship for a reason. Like, you've chosen to be in a relationship for a reason. You looked for a relationship at one point, maybe at many points. You were happy in the relationship. How did that change? Well, because people get really comfortable with each other, and love does change. It goes to different levels. I personally think a deeper level of love is when you do fight, because that means you care. If you didn't fight, you wouldn't care. So that's that. You wouldn't even care if the person left. You'd almost want them to leave. If you're up to that stage, you don't want a relationship with that person. But there are segments, I call them ulcers. They come up like ulcers. They're like, or a cold. Like, you never know when you're going to get a cold, and when you do get it, you're like miserable. You're, I can't believe it. I can never do this anymore. I can't handle it. But you get through the cold and you feel good. When you don't have a cold, you don't say, oh my God, I feel amazing. You don't do that all the time. You just really remember feeling really amazing after such a misery. So where am I going with this? I do have things to share here that are good. Okay, so I had a really good friend when I was having a hard time in my relationship, and it was like fight after fight after fight, and then it became a long-term fight. And it's such that my husband will literally not talk to me. Like, he could actually do that, and I never came from that type of world where you don't talk to someone for a couple of days, but nevertheless, you think that that's the time that it's going to be over. Like, oh my God, maybe this is the time, maybe this is the time. A friend of mine, I'm not going to say who, you wouldn't know her anyway, she has a lot of experience, very good marriage, solid marriage, married since she's literally, I think, 18, and she's my age. She's about 47 years old, 46, and she's got 7 children. She's a grandmother already, but she's really wise, and he's about 2 years older than we are. Very secure in her marriage, very secure in her thoughts, and she's seen divorced before in her family, and she said, what are you going to do? You're going to trade measles for mumps? You're going to get some other problem with some other person anyway. You've invested so much time, so many of your feelings in this person. Why give that up to somebody else? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, she pulled me out of quicksand where everybody was like, oh, you should definitely go. You should definitely stop. You know, most people would leave. But if it means something to you, and nobody else can really understand it, she actually understood it. She said, you're not going to get anybody without a problem. Like, literally, nobody comes perfect. Now, this is only for people that want to keep a relationship. If you truly are not the type of person that can keep a relationship, you've gone through many relationships before in your life, and it obviously is not for you. You know, not everybody's built for relationships. It really is a truth. I mean, I don't know why people seem to think that it's the other person. It's probably you that can't handle the relationships if you're going through them all the time. I'm not talking about, like, dating. I'm not talking about those mini relationships. I'm talking about, like, long-term relationships. If you can't seem to get past 5 years, you know? Now, another story is that people stay in relationships hoping to get married. I've not been one of those people because I always wanted that. I put the cards on the table right away. I never ever hid it from them. I always said to them, I want to get married. That was my goal, all right? I wanted a family, and I said it. Don't be afraid to tell people what you want. Not on the first date, although that works too sometimes. But I mean, like, let them fall for you first, and then let them know what you want. And if they don't comply with that, they weren't for you. Okay, so now we're talking about people that you're in a relationship with already. So patience is a really good virtue in this situation. Like, you could distract them also. Like, with my husband and I'm like Lucy from I Love Lucy, and he's like Ricky. Like, he's a tough guy, and I'm like, you know, fun. I could write things off. I could make it comedic. I could make it funny. So how does this play into my relationship? Well, one time my husband wasn't talking to me for a couple of days, and I ended up, and it's very hard because he travels a lot too, so that bothers me that he's not talking to me, and, you know, these days are very precious. So what I did was, he went to go pick up his friend from the airport, a mutual friend of ours, and I hid in the back seat of the SUV, so it was like the way back in the trunk, but it was still like an SUV, so it's like a big space, and I covered myself in, like, clothing and stuff so he wouldn't see, just in case he looked back, but he didn't look back. So within a half hour into that drive, I didn't want him to get totally shocked. I waited for him to get to a red light. I looked out the window and everything, but I was also listening, you know, to see if he was talking about me on the phone at all, you know, because he could do that. But it was really just business phone call. It was kind of boring, and I lifted my head up, and he looked at the rearview mirror, and he sees me, and he's on the phone, and he's like, I gotta go. And he's like, wow, you got me. I'm like, you're so boring. I wish you were talking about me and I could catch you red-handed, but you didn't. And we ended up laughing about it and everything, and we made up, and it was a really good, strong makeup. Like, it was like I distracted him, right? I swallowed the pride, I got rid of the anger, and I just said, what are we doing? You know, let's just make up. So we did make up, and it was great. And then we were able to enjoy our friend that came over, and we, like, really all went out, and everything was just more relaxed. So tension builds up over time. I don't like the fact that he could build up that tension with me. It just makes me angrier. But if you get creative and you distract that person, you could actually find that people melt. Their bad mood, their ice just melts, and they deflate. They don't get as angry. They cool down. But you got to get to that cool down stage. So I have an extreme case where somebody doesn't talk to me, makes me angrier because I'm a very verbal person. I don't know if you can tell. And I share these thoughts because somebody out there might have the same thing happen. Like, oh, I can't take him anymore. You know, he can't do this, he can't do that. Guess what? No one else will be perfect. You're always going to get some rotten thing that you don't like. That is a fact. Now, what's taught me patience are exercises. get yourself into a really good state. Prayer, very, very helpful, or meditation, whatever it is you do. You talk to your creator or whoever is guiding you. If you feel there's somebody guiding you, I do. I feel like my father who died guides me, and I literally ask for it. I ask for the right people in my life, and I ask for the people that are not good for me to just not be in my life. And that is a consistent prayer that keeps coming and coming and coming. Now, I mentioned this in another video that I did with Fully Raw Christina. I don't know if you follow her, but I just told her basically what I do every day, and that is till now, is that I make that prayer and I ask for the guidance that I need, and I put myself in a good state of mind, which is being in the ocean, exercise. Painting has taught me also really good active meditation, where I zone and I really ask for the right guidance. And it's because I'm in that good state that I can ask for those things and feel them and feel like I'm asking the right questions, and I really feel like those things really work. And so get yourself in a good state of mind, and don't be so stubborn. Don't be so hard and tough. You can be like that in the beginning of a fight. The wound is open, it's fresh. I've also discovered, even with my own children, you take people in doses. You can't have everybody all the time. You can't be so needy. You can't not have a life of your own. There's going to be conflict, there's going to be things, but at least you can have a go-to thing that you do. And I used to be upset that my husband didn't want to go with me to see me in comedy. I'm a stand-up comic sometimes, and he wouldn't watch me perform, or he'd be very, cringed out that his wife's on stage, or he just, he couldn't handle the fact that if I didn't get laughs, he would just, and I don't care if I get laughs all the time. Like, to me, it's just practice run. I don't get that embarrassment thing like he does. But he was more embarrassed for me than himself. So he gets this feeling that he can't go. So I respect that. I used to get upset about it, like, oh, he's not supportive. Guess what? The last 18, 19 years that I'm with him, I've seen movies alone or with other friends. I don't care. He's not a movie maker. He's not a guy that likes movies. He doesn't like movies. I like Broadway shows. I think I saw one with him in the last 19 years, and he just doesn't like movies. What am I going to do? I can't make him like that. So, be patient, get through it, and I hope this helped you. Thank you.